Hi there, welcome to Neppy Invest. In this June quarter Appendix 4C video, I am going to be discussing a company I do own in one of my portfolios. That's my long-term buy and hold portfolio, and that is Beam Communications. The main reason I do own Beam is when you look at the valuation, about $20 million right now, there is potential the market is not pricing any premium into this company because they really have underperformed over the past 5 years. However, it does seem like the market might be ignoring some of the tailwinds this company could be experiencing right now. We haven't seen proof, and when I say proof, I mean financial proof of these tailwinds just yet, but we might be seeing that in the next year. And that's all in regards to one of their products called Zoleo. Now, they don't own Zoleo outright. It's a joint venture with, I think it's a Canadian company called RoadSpot. And over the past year, we've really seen traction in the selling of the Zoleo. The Zoleo sales have really been taking off. And we see when Beam releases any announcement, most of these announcements are in regards to sales of the Zoleo product. So before we look at the June quarter results for Beam, just a few facts in regards to this company. Beam Communications design, develop, manufacture, and distribute satellite, cellular, and dual mode equipment applications and services, which include what I'm going to call their flagship product, which is Zoleo. And that's the reason why I'm calling that the flagship product. It just seems like that's what this company is really interested in, and the traction that product is gaining. So the way to look at Beam Communications is just imagine you're in the middle of nowhere, your mobile phone can't work because there's no reception, and then you attach the Zoleo product to your cell phone, and then you're able to communicate with anyone in the world. So what Beam is trying to do is to make sure everyone in the world can communicate with each other no matter where they are. The ticker code for Beam is BCC, which is the same as Brisbane City Council. And every single time I see BCC when I'm out in Brisbane, I just think of Beam Communications, not Brisbane City Council. The market cap of Beam is $20 million at 27 cents. Receipts to customers in the financial year 21, 18.5 million, and the operating cash flow is 700,000. So this company is operational cash flow positive in the yearly base. Price to sales ratio just less than 1, or around 1 right now. If you want further information on Beam, what products they do sell, go to their website. And for any reason you can't go to the website, I'm not sure why you wouldn't be able to, have a look at some of the presentations they've released over the past 6 months to a year, or just go straight to the Appendix 4C, which they released on the 28th of July. Before we have a look at the June quarter results, it's always good to go back to the last few quarters just to see how the company was performing in the past and just relate that to the most recent quarter. And I always like to look at the full history of a company's cash receipts to see if they are able to grow receipts through history. So have a look at that in 2 slides time, or 3 slides time. Receipts to customers for the March quarter, $4.7 million. So this company is a real company. They are producing something that other people are willing to buy, and that's very important because instead of selling a story, they're selling products. And they were operational cash flow positive for the March quarter by $64,000. They did spend about $600,000 on product development, but they also received another $600,000 through a grant. So in their investing and financing activities, it was a wash. They didn't burn any money in those 2 forms of activity. So that means because they did increase their cash in their operations by $64,000, they increased their cash in their overall business by $100,000 and finished the quarter with $4.5 million in the kitty. They don't have any debt, or not much debt. So even though the market cap of the company is $20 million, the enterprise value of Beam is more like $15 million. And that makes this company even more attractive. Now on to the June quarter results for Beam. Receipts to customers, $4.8 million for the quarter. So that was a slight increase by about $200,000 from the March quarter. And because they haven't increased some of their costs, that meant the company is more operational cash flow from the previous quarter. So they've increased their cash flow from $66,000 to $374,000. Now, unlike the March quarter, where they increased their overall cash in the business, they actually decreased their cash during this quarter by $800,000. And the two main reasons they decreased the cash was because they did or not receive that grant, which they did receive in March. They maintained spending on product development. They also repaid a bit of borrowing, something like $1 million of borrowings. So they finished the June quarter with $3.7 million of cash in their coffers. If you've been following Beam Communications at all and just looking at the news flow from the company, you will see a lot of announcements in regards to Zoleo and how Zoleo sales have been accelerating or increasing over the past year or 18 months. And this is a little chart they included in their activities report in the Appendix 4C, just how Zoleo sales have been progressing over the past 18 months. So we are seeing an increasing trend in Zoleo sales. And this is why I call this product their flagship product, even though it is a joint venture with another company, because they do seem to be spending a lot of time talking about this one little product. But they do have other products they are developing and are selling. So if you want full information and full knowledge on this company, you should go to the website and look at all the stuff they are actually selling, not only Zoleo. If you know anything about me, you'll know I like to look at receipts history of a company through time. And this is Beam. Beam's receipts history going back to the June quarter 2013. So I've been following this company for over 8 years. And unfortunately for Beam, we haven't seen any upwards trend in the receipts. So that's exactly the opposite to what I want to see. Actually, it's not the opposite, because the opposite would be falling receipts through time. When you look at Beam's receipts through time, it's really been going flat. There's no observable trend at all. In fact, their best performing quarter in the past 8 years was the first quarter when I started following them in June 2013, when they received $5.4 million receipts. In fact, that's the only quarter where this company has seen more than $5 million in receipts. They've got awfully close in 3 other quarters with $4.9 million. And in the last 3 quarters, December 2020, March, and June quarters of this year, we've seen receipts between 4.7 and 4.9 million. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, and one of the reasons why I have bought into this company, I think we will see receipts get above $5 million over the next few quarters, and then possibly stay above that because of how Zoleo is progressing and the traction it is getting out there with the amount of sales we've been seeing in the announcements this company has been releasing. The troubles Beam Communications have seen in growing their receipts through time can be reflected in the share price performance of this company. This is the weekly chart going back to the end of 2015. And fun enough, the low and the high in Beam's share price over the past 6 years were at the start of this period. So the low, the share price was 11 cents in January 2015, and then the high in the share price was 55 cents in March of the same year. We haven't seen the share price get to that point on the low side and the high side in the 6 years after this. So the share price has been going nowhere, really. There's no discernible uptrend in the share price. That's not what you want to see if you're a long-term holder of a company. So this company has to prove that they can increase receipts through time. That's what the market is waiting for right now. We have seen we did see a bit of an increase in the volume towards the end of 2020. When I actually saw that increase in volume, that was a good sign. The market was getting interested, and we actually saw the share price increase from 15 cents to about almost 40 cents at the start of this year. But that increase in interest in Beam actually fell away during the start of this year and hasn't quite recovered yet, but I'll be waiting to see if receipts can get above that $5 million, stay above $5 million. And then the next thing I'll be looking for is an upwards trend in the share price. If all those things happen, I'll buy some more shares in this company. Up until then, I'm happy to have a small parcel in Beam Communications, because I do think there is some potential of this company over the next 5 to 10 years, particularly in this Zoleo product. I'm enjoying doing this video series on companies that have achieved an operational cash flow positive June quarter. Hopefully you're enjoying this series too. If you are, look out for the following videos on these 4 companies in the next week. PropTech Group, which is a company I've never done research before, so this is a new company in my own stable companies that I've looked at. Image Resources, CV Check are 2 companies I have looked at in the past, and Pointerra, another company I own a small parcel in my long-term buy and hold portfolio. That is all I have for this June quarter Appendix 4C video for Beamer Communications. If you do know a fair bit about this company, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on where you think this company is heading over the next few years, in particular the Zoleo product. I'd love to hear your opinion if you have even used it in the past year or 18 months. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.